Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session brought to you by Siksha.com and Arizona State University, USA. Students, this is an informative session about the graduate programs that are being offered by the university to all international students under business and public administration. Before we move further, I would like to introduce our presenters from the university today. So I welcome Ms. Lisa. She's the Director, Graduate and Transfer Recruitment at the Admissions Services. And our second presenter is Ms. Nikki. She's the Recruitment Advisor for India at the, for graduate admissions at the university. I welcome both of them today for doing this presentation for the students. Students, important note for all of you, if you want to ask questions to our presenters, I will request you to please post your questions in the question section. We will be taking all of them at the end of the session. If you wish to ask questions directly, please click on the raise hand tab. Siksha will unmute you and you can ask your questions directly to the presenters. I will now request Nikki to please start with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi. We appreciate you hosting us today. Lisa and I are grateful to be here with this exciting opportunity to speak to so many of you this fine evening here in India. So as Lakshmi said briefly, my name is Nikki. I am based out of Bangalore, India for ASU graduate admission. So we have a short amount of time today. So what we will be doing is we'll be taking your questions towards the end of our presentation. We have about a 30-minute presentation today between Lisa and I. So we will be covering quite a bit of valuable information for you on the topic that Lakshmi mentioned. So without further ado, if you have not previously heard of Arizona State University, we are based in the state of Arizona, and as such, we are a comprehensive public research university. So we are the largest public university in the United States. And we measure ourselves by who we include rather than who we exclude, and what kind of an impact our students are making not only on their local community, but using that in a systems thinking approach to really create impact worldwide, whether that is through public administration, through working for the private sector, etc. Moving right along here, I know we all love our rankings here in India, and I wanted to highlight a very important ranking that will be very valuable for you as you continue your search for higher education in the United States. Now, ASU has been ranked #1 in the US for innovation 6 years in a row. As you can see here in front of you, that's ahead of MIT and Stanford. Now, that not only means that as a student in a business program, business master's program, that you have access to some of the best thought leaders in, possibly the country and also the world, but also that you have access to resources such as, cutting edge research that could really empower an idea that could funnel into a solution that a business student is then creating to make an impact on a community, right? So I will continue moving on here to give a bit of context for those of you who are unsure where Arizona is located. So Arizona, the state, is located in the southwestern quadrant of the United States. So you'll see a few familiar names here. We are neighbors to California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. And of course, the southern border of Arizona is with the country of Mexico here. So again, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the US, and we are a beautiful desert, and we do have access to actually dozens of international destinations. So to give you a bit of context, just at ASU on our 5 different campuses, we have about 2,500 students just from India, right? So there is a wonderful Indian South Asian community that we have that is located on our campuses across undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs as well. Now, I spoke a little bit to the beauty of Arizona to provide a little bit of context. We are the Grand Canyon state, right? So the photo you see in front of you is actually of Horseshoe Bend, which is another world wonder, right? So a little bit of information here. We have about 300 days of sunshine per year, which allows us to offer a myriad of different programs that actually work with solar, for example, as well. So solar powered innovations, businesses that are being launched. Phoenix is actually called the Silicon Desert in a sense, right? Because of the onset of new companies that have either established themselves as as newer startups in the Phoenix Valley, or larger companies such as Amazon, which have actually really ramped up their operations in the Phoenix metro area, which actually results in a lot of job growth there as well. So what I'll do is, I'll start here with, you see the agenda in front of you. So I will start by covering the Thunderbird School of Global Management, and then Lisa will be covering the W.P. Carey School of Business and Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions. We will discuss a little bit about application timelines. So again, if you have questions, please post them in the chat, and we will open up the audio very shortly for you to ask questions using, audio visual as well, if you are more inclined to do so. So Thunderbird School of Global Management, if there's a student out there who's very inclined to pursue a global master's in business degree, Thunderbird has actually been at the pinnacle, at the zenith of the global master's degree space. So being established right after the Second World War, Thunderbird has a long history of about 75 years of providing education to leaders who want to create a business impact worldwide. So again, I won't go into rankings too much, but Thunderbird is actually providing degree programs that are shaping global leaders. So when we say global, we don't just mean there will be a global component or a week or a module in a certain class within your entire master's curriculum. You would have classes, all of your classes are actually seen through a global lens. So the case studies you have in your classes, you will be in a classroom that will be covering all the continents, students from all the continents around the world. And it's a very interdisciplinary space. And you will hear the word interdisciplinary a lot when you come to Arizona State University, simply because across the 350 different programs that we offer, right, we have 16 different colleges under the umbrella of ASU. And amongst these 16, there's a myriad number of ways in which a student can really customize their degree program to suit their own needs. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. So I talked a little bit about the diversity at Thunderbird. Of course, we have over 52 different countries represented. I'm going to add right here that I'm also an alumna of the Thunderbird School of Global Management. So being originally from East Africa, for me, this was like a mini United Nations, because you are sitting in class with other folks who are looking to go into the business world to make an impact, right? To be global leaders, but who also have insights into the case studies that you will be reading during classes as a part of your curriculum. That makes it extra exciting. Of course, we have alumni all over the world, more than 45,000 alums, and in India we have around 500 alumni just in India from Thunderbird. So that's actually quite exciting as well. Now, when I mentioned jobs earlier, the Phoenix metro area being an area of growth in the United States for jobs, right? So it's important to understand that Thunderbird students, in the context of the Thunderbird program, right, are looking for jobs all over the United States and all over the world as well. In front of you, you have some of the companies where some of our recent graduates have received either internships or post-graduation jobs. And these are some, and you'll notice there's a nice dichotomy of companies here that are both in the private sector, such as, for example, Amazon, or even the public sector, right? I mean, you have the Department of State, you have the United Nations. So creating an impact as a business leader is not just relegated to the private sector. And that is something we try and resonate across the different programs that we have at ASU. Now, this is a very quick snapshot here of the new global headquarters that is actually fitted with a lot of virtual reality and AV functionality. It's actually a high-tech campus that Thunderbird has recently inaugurated last month in the Phoenix downtown campus. So that is a great thing to check out. Now, getting down to the basics of the degree that Thunderbird offers. So if you are looking for a degree that is a Master of Global Management program, now this is a specialized degree, a specialized master's in business, right? There is a distinction between a Master of Global Management, which is a specialized degree, versus an MBA. And Lisa will discuss the MBA in just a few minutes as well. But the interesting component with this program is that it is extremely customizable, right? So if you look at the program, we have 16 different concentration options, of which 3 of these are STEM designated. it is actually quite rare for students to find a master's in business program in the United States that is STEM designated. And when I say STEM designated, you have the option of a stay back period of 3 years in the United States versus 1 year, which is 1 year is what you get with a typical master's in business that is not STEM designated, right? So of these programs that you see, of these concentrations that you see here, you have global business, global digital transformation, and global management that are actually STEM designated here. So sorry, not global management. You will have the data science one that is in the bottom right-hand corner as well. So these three are actually degrees where students can come in, complete that degree program, and then have that stay back period for about 3 years. And again, I wanted to quickly mention that this is an ode to the transdisciplinary nature of what ASU is all about. For example, if you look at the data science degree concentration that you have on the bottom right-hand side, this is actually a collaboration of Thunderbird, the School of Global Management, with our Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. So you will actually be taking classes under professors who are teaching in the computer science program. So for a student who's looking to go into a business analytical, a master's in analytics type of program, this would be a great program for them as well. Global Challenge Lab, this is, I'll put a little pin on this for now, but essentially it is an opportunity for you as a student in Thunderbird's program to get valuable experience as a consultant working with a real company. Some of the companies are listed here down below, to work with a real company and add this experience to your resume. Because when a company comes to recruit at almost any campus, I would say in the United States, they're very interested in what kind of transferable skills you have brought with you from your previous leadership and work experiences that will add value to now their company and that role. We can certainly talk about this later. Global mindset, collection of qualities and attributes that allow you as a leader to influence individuals, businesses, and organizations in different parts of the world. This is pretty self-explanatory here, and if this is something that interests you, I think the Thunderbird program would actually be a great fit for you. So we talked a little bit about the program already. Let's discuss a little bit about the scholarship opportunities. Thunderbird does provide significant amount of scholarships as well. They're mostly merit-based. We do not provide need-based scholarships under the Thunderbird umbrella, at least. So again, academic performance and how that has been measured, previous work or any leadership experience. So if you have significant professional experience, that would also help you significantly as well. And again, one of the biggest factors that we have is your Thunderbird fit, right? What is your global mindset like? Do you have an inclination to work abroad after you graduate from your master's in business STEM program? So this is the last slide for Thunderbird here. I wanted to place this in front of you just to give you a better idea of the actual criteria that the program requires. The Master of Global Management, MGM program, requires in terms of what you have to submit to gain entry, to be evaluated to gain entry into the program. So very standard. I won't go over all of this right now in the interest of time here, but if we have any questions, please start thinking about your questions. We're happy to start taking questions soon as well. So Lisa, I'm going to hand that over to you now so that you can discuss a little bit more about WP Carey School of Business.
Great, thank you, Nikki. All right, so as we transition from Thunderbird to WP Carey, what we like to usually explain is where Thunderbird's focus is on that global mindset, WP Carey dives deeper into specific business topics. So throughout the next few slides, I will show you the portfolio of degree programs available through our business school. And then on the last slide, Nikki will actually click on one of the links so you can see what the website looks like. And rely on it as a resource for your future research as you're exploring different degree programs. So starting here first with the degrees that focus in on finance and accounting, WP Carey Business School offers 3 degree programs: the Master of Data and Analytics, its Master of Accountancy, the Master of Taxation, and the Master of Finance. The interesting piece about these 3 degree programs is they are available to students to be completed in you can do them in 1 year, or they can be extended longer. But these are considered degree programs that give you specialized masters, meaning specialized information in specific degree programs, or excuse me, special information in specific areas of the business world. And then we'll transition to the next slide, which will dive in a little deeper into that data piece. So this is for students who are exploring ways to make decisions based on the data that they're seeing in front of them. So information like forecasting, to use to imagine what the future of a specific business industry is going to be like, or the specific growth numbers can be like. Business analytics gives students that opportunity to learn how to use business skills to make decisions. Business analytics is designed for students who have a bit of a business background and then want to go deeper and actually rely on their business knowledge and on the numbers to be a leader in the industry. Where information systems management, the degree below, is designed for a student who perhaps has maybe an engineering background or a background from a different area like computer science, but they now want to manage people and manage processes. So this degree program will give them the opportunity to manage people below them, so manage a team or a department, but also communicate effectively with those above them, so the VP, the executive levels. So it's basically giving someone the skills to be able to understand how to speak to someone who has an extensive science or computer background, and understand the work they're doing, but also make decisions for that department or for that team. And then the next slide, please. We also have some degrees, we call them the special interest or specialized interest degrees. And these are where they're diving in specific areas of the business world. So the Master of Real Estate Development program, for example, is designed to give students an opportunity to understand how not just urban development can affect the business world and affect the economy, but even diving into how specific pieces of real estate and urban development can affect an economy. So, for example, understanding how the construction side of the housing market has right now, we could go on and on talking about the housing economy and the housing market in Phoenix, but how is construction affected when the economy changes? Global logistics is where students basically are understanding trade, international travel, and understanding how areas like agriculture can be affected from one country to the next or one area of the globe to the next. And then finally, our Masters of Management is the opportunity for students who have a non-business degree background to gain some business skills, to once again become a confident manager and to understand how management skills and communication skills can truly create an effective team, because now the team can rely on someone who is a strong manager who believes in the team that they are leading in, because he or she has the skills to design and basically deliver a team who can make a difference and who can hit their goals as they strive towards reaching those goals. I know most of you are here to learn more about the MBA program, so I did want to dive into actually giving you the resources so you can see what the WP Carey's websites look like. So as Nick is driving here to the website, and you can see this link here at the top, and I believe our team, yep, there we go, we'll put this link in the chat as well. This is WP Carey's website, and the reason we choose to share this site is because it's basically designed where any applicant can find the resources that they need and the information they need. In particular, as Nikki scrolls down a bit, you can see which of our MBA programs and specialized master's programs are STEM designated. And then if you scroll down a bit more, Nikki, you can also see the application information, where right below here where it says get a look inside WP Carey's MBA. This will give you the MBA application information, as well as some tips and advice on how to be a competitive applicant. So how to stand out. So as you're looking at all of the attendees in this session, all of you may have a strong undergrad GPA, or you may have 2 years of work experience, but how can you stand out among your peers? And this is what these tips and this information will provide you, all of the information you need there. As Nikki, if you scroll back up, Nikki, to the full-time MBA, it also gives you the class portfolio link when she clicks on Learn More. And that class portfolio is what we always recommend to our students to use as a starting point, because basically the class portfolio shows you what the previous class looked like. So it gives you an idea of what the GMAT score was, or what the average GPA was for the full-time MBA. For example, the full-time MBA had, those students had about 5 years of work experience for the class of fall 2021. So the students who just started the program this year. And that can vary from 1 year to the next. Sometimes it's 6 years, sometimes it's 4.8, but basically this gives you an idea of what we're looking for. And I always just like to add that even though that is the average class portfolio, areas like the resume and the statement of purpose in your letters of recommendation are where you can make a difference and where you can really stand out if you don't meet that class portfolio yet at this point. All right, so then we will transition back to our presentation. And the last slide is the contact information for the business school. And I know our team will also put this email address in the chat if it's not there yet. All right, and we look forward to answering some questions for you here in just the next 10 minutes or so about the MBA program. I'd like to transition to another set of 2 degree programs offered here at Arizona State University, the Master of Public Administration and the Master of Public Policy, which are offered through Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions. Watts College is home to these 2 programs, which have been continuously 2 of the highest ranked programs in the country for almost 2 decades now. So very similar to Thunderbird and to WP Carey. When you're looking at the MPA, the Master of Public Administration, and the MPP, the Master of Public Policy, these programs are consistently one of the top 15, top 10 programs year after year after year. So this year, for example, the School of Public Affairs is ranked number 13 in the nation. All of the other rankings you see here are related to the specific concentrations offered through the MPA and the MPP. So one question we get commonly asked is, what is the difference between these 2 programs? So first I'll dive in a little bit more into just ways that you can maximize your experience with these programs through concurrent degrees. The concurrent degrees basically mean you're doing 2 degree programs at the same time. So you're doing the high-ranked MPA with the criminology and criminal justice master's program, which actually, just as a fun fact for you to know, is considered one of the top 3 programs in the country. So you're basically going to graduate from 2 of the top programs in the entire country. So concurrent degrees give you the opportunity to dive into 2 areas of study while you're here at ASU. And some of those classes are then shared between the 2 degree programs. As we transition over to the next 2 slides, basically I wanted to dive into the difference between an MPA and an MPP. So an MPP tends to be more focused in on research and statistics. So these are for students who, once again, want to understand how to use forecasting to make decisions, how they're analyzing data to make executive and business decisions, where the MPA is the opportunity to lead people. The MPA focuses more on social interaction, meeting with other administrators, other individuals from within the government. So similar to where the MBA, the business administration, focuses on the business world, the MPA with the public administration focuses on the public sector. So government jobs, being a lobbyist, working for a state, national, or local government. Diving a bit more into these 2 programs, if you prefer to be a manager, the MPA is the one that you are looking for. So these are people who want to serve their community, who want to make a difference in the world. Oftentimes, students who are looking at the MPA will use the word, they'll tell their family and they'll tell their friends that they want to make a difference. And that's their goal, is they have seen and identified a social issue that they want to tackle. And that social issue could be related to the economy and how the government is affecting their communities. Or it could be linked specifically to like an area, like a nonprofit organization. So they want to lead a nonprofit organization to help a specific group of people in their community. The MPP is once again designed for someone who wants to use that data and analyze data to once again make a difference in the world. So what you'll probably hear from between Nikki and I over and over again is Thunderbird focuses in on that global scale of the business world. WP Carey's programs focus in on the private sector, where Watts College, the MPA and MPP focus in on the public sector. All right, next slide, please. With the MPA and the MPP, this gives you just a bit more of the class portfolio. The majority of the students do not choose a concentration. They are looking for this solid just MPA with elective courses. Those elective courses allow them to really create a degree program that is specific to their goals and allows them to have some diverse program knowledge, where when you do pick a concentration, you then have the opportunity to dive into an area like emergency management, public finance, urban management, or something like environmental policy as well. We have seen that more and more of our students from India and from, I'll say, to Africa and other areas have started to find themselves more interested in environmental issues, so issues like sustainability and environmental policy as well. Both programs, like Thunderbird and like WP Carey, prefer to have very small class sizes. So within the MPA, and I'll add to the MBA that I was on earlier, the class sizes tend to be close to about 36 students on average, and they are able to go through the degree program together. So not only are they've seen the same students in each class, but there are other cohorts of students, so other groups of students going through the program too. So not only are you getting to know your core student group, but you do get to take classes with those other students too. So basically, when you graduate, you now have a strong network of alum that you can count on for the rest of your career, and you can lean on them through whichever program you do, whether it's through Thunderbird, WP Carey, or Watts College. Next slide. Great, so just in this slide here, while it is relevant to Watts College, I did want to say that between this slide and the next one, this is where you would want to think through what the application information can look like and some application tips. So one thing that is unique to the MPA program is it does require some government and statistics background. Many of our international students, if they didn't take an American government course in their undergrad, they're able to take a series of classes through, after they've been admitted, they can take some classes that are just designed to watch videos, and then you take tests, and gives you the opportunity to learn more about the American government system, just to get a basic understanding of how our government is set up. It allows you to feel much more confident as you're approaching your MPA courses. The next slide, please, Nikki. All right, and just a quick tip here, and you'll see this pop up in the chat here. Many times we know that one of the questions you probably have is, what is the tuition for students? We are sharing this link with you, the tuition link, so you do have the opportunity to do some independent research and understand the difference between the three colleges and what their tuition looks like. The nice thing about this tuition link here is it gives you the chance to do a comparison of the three colleges, but then also to understand how the program fees are made up. And what those program fees cover. Because what you will see with program fees, which is the fees above the ASU-based tuition, is that the program fees cover resources like career services, which you will have access to for the rest of your career. Any additional information about just how the program is unique to an MBA student or an MPA student or a Thunderbird student. And finally, I know as we are closing in here on our slides and our piece of information, for those students who are looking at applying to ASU, to any of the colleges at ASU and any of the degree programs, we love the opportunity to basically tell you what we see as a fantastic timeline for applying. In particular, degree programs like WP Carey do have international student deadlines for applying. So if you're looking at applying to the business school, we encourage you to have your application, your full application submitted by February, because that gives you, not only gives the committee enough time to review your application, because they do read page by page, one by one, but it also will give you time to get your I-20 and your documents to ASU, to book your travel, and to start planning for your time to transition to ASU, knowing that you will live in Arizona for 1, 2, or 3 years, or beyond as well, of course. So if there is any slide that you are going to take a picture of, this is always the one that Nikki and I recommend you capture, because basically this is telling you how to apply and what that timeline will look like. So right now, after we finish our presentation, we encourage you to go explore the ASU site and look at these different degree programs that we've presented to you, and decide which one is right for you. The one piece of advice we do want to give you as attendees of this session is to know that if you are interested in applying to multiple degree programs, so for example, the Master of Global Management and the Master of Public Administration and the Master of Business Administration appeal to you, you can actually apply to all 3 programs and only pay 1 application fee, which is huge, because you pay, if you're paying an application fee for 3 different degree programs, that can get very expensive. So by paying 1 application fee, you fill out 3 different applications to a program that all 3 programs will start in the fall. And that will give you a chance to be reviewed by all 3 committees, and they will help you decide which program is best for you, or they will admit you to multiple programs, allowing you to either do multiple programs or to choose which degree is right for you at that point. This weekend, though, begin collecting your resume, updating your resume, begin writing your personal statement, identifying what each degree program requires. So WP Carey, for example, requires that you respond to a series of questions, where Watts College just wants a personal statement of your background and goals. And Nikki, does Thunderbird, what is their breakdown for that supplemental piece?
Yep, it's a statement of purpose. Plus
Perfect.
the interview.
Okay. Wonderful. So then next week, after you've put together those supplemental materials, you'll want to submit your application. And then if your degree program requires a GRE or a GMAT, you'll begin to take your practice entrance exams to identify areas where you need to study and prepare a bit more. And then you'll schedule your exam. And then just keep an eye on your letters of recommendation to see if those have been submitted by your references. Take your entrance exam. And then basically, if you're moving at this pace, you should receive an admission decision by like February, March is what you're looking at for most of these degree programs. Nikki, is there anything else you want to add with Thunderbird on this slide?
I just wanted to make a general statement, and I know many of these programs require several different documents, such as statement of purpose, personal statement, or answering a series of essay questions, right, as we call them. They also require an updated resume, right? So I encourage students to not let this precious real estate go to waste, as they say. So the resume is not essentially another document where you repeat everything you've written in your personal statement or statement of purpose. Really utilize this real estate wisely, right? Because think of it this way. There's your student sitting here halfway across the world, and the admissions committee is sitting halfway across the world. So what can you show to the admissions committee that is above and beyond, your grades, your exam, test score reports, your leadership and professional opportunities that you've had? So how can you shine a deeper light onto what you've done and uncover some of your strengths, right? What have you accomplished in terms of some of your professional or personal goals, and why this program and why now? And I think we're just chipping off at the tip of the iceberg right now, Lisa, but I thought it would be important to mention that a resume is quite different than what you would see as a personal statement or a statement of purpose.
Beautiful, thank you. And the last thing we'll say, so as we're transitioning to the next slide here, is Nikki and I don't want this to be the last time you have the opportunity to talk to us and our team. We have a group of admission specialists and coordinators who want to give you more application tips and want to help you with your application. One thing I always encourage students to do is to attend one of our application tips webinars that we offer each month. So rather than sending us a question about your unique situation, consider attending the webinar, because you'll then not only be able to learn some really helpful tips on how to be more competitive, like Nikki just shared, but you will also get to hear other students ask questions and get to learn a little bit more above and beyond what you were thinking, because you're having the chance to listen to other people and hear what fears or what concerns they have as they approach the application. So please don't let this be the last time we connect with you. Consider, of course, emailing. You can email Thunderbird, WP Carey, or Watts College, or you can stay in touch with us directly through our email address here. But first, I would say as a next step, attend one of our application tip sessions to learn more about the application and ways to be competitive to get to ASU. Well, this concludes the slides that we wanted to share with you to just give you a high view of the different ways to approach the business school area here at ASU. So we'll dive in next into the Q&A piece of our presentation.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much, Nikki, for the wonderful presentation. Now we are going to start with the question from students. If you want to ask questions directly, I will request you to please raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can ask your questions directly. So I'm going to start with the live questions first. So the first student I'm going to unmute is Amina Begum. Amina, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey there, this is Amina from India. Actually, my question is for Spring 22 for January. I've applied for my master's program in computer science field. So I want to let you people know me that when would you people will acknowledge me with my I-20, because prior 2 weeks I've applied it. So I'm avidly waiting for my I-20. So that's my question. Thank you.
So thank you so much for your question. I think it was Amina, if I'm not mistaken. So since this is a business, discussion that we were having about business programs versus computer science or engineering, I would suggest if you could please send us an email at gograd@asu.edu with your full name and the details of when you have applied. We can look into your individual application. So just in the interest of everyone here, maybe we can take more generalized questions, but we appreciate your question, and please do feel free to send us an email at that email address, and we will get back to you soon.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amina, I've just shared the email address with you. So you can send your details on that email address.
Okay, sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Aditya Singh. Aditya, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Aditya, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, this is Aditya Singh from India as well. So my question is, right now I'm doing a bachelor's degree in management studies and I'm going to graduate in 2023. So what I understand is for a full-time MBA program, you basically need a 2-year work experience. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. So for the full-time MBA student, the committee is looking for students who have at a minimum 2 years work experience.
Yes. So right now I have my mind shifted to a master's in management program, which I understand does not require work experience, which is basically a freshers MBA. That's all I know about it. So that's what I'm aiming at, and I really want to go to Arizona State University.
So I wouldn't classify a Master of Global Management as a freshers MBA necessarily, because those are very different degrees as well. They will give you a very similar foundation in that sense, and you are correct that we do not require work experience if you're looking to apply for a Master's in Management. Correct? Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna graduate in 2023. So what are the basic requirements that you will require, like LORs or SOPs? What's the procedure?
Right. So every program has different deadlines, right? So just how when we went back to the MBA page on here, and we clicked on that link, every program has its own page. So Lisa, I'm going to refer quickly to Thunderbird here, right? Because everything was already listed out. So maybe this will help you. So for admissions, you need your undergraduate transcripts, a GMAT or GRE, some form of English proficiency, right? So TOEFL, IELTS, or PTE. You also have the option, if you have completed your entire bachelor's degree in an English medium, you have the option of providing a medium of instruction letter stating that you have completed your undergrad in English and you can have the English proficiency waived, right? That's on a case-by-case basis. Of course, you have to complete the online application, submit your resume, complete either the essay questions or the statement of purpose, depending on what the program at that time will be requiring. We do need a letter of reference, like you said, minimum of 1. And then, of course, if you're invited in to go through the admissions process after submitting these documents, the next step would be the admissions interview.
So talking about reference letter, what do you exactly mean by reference letter?
So reference letters can, letters of recommendation or reference letters, they can come from various different entities, right? So if you're somebody who is currently in an academic institution completing their undergraduate degree program, this would typically be either an internship supervisor if you have completed some sort of professional work experience, or it would be a professor who has worked closely with you and a team where you have actually had a leadership component in working on a class project, for example. What we do not want to see are very generic letters of recommendation that state that, this is the best student I've had in the last 15 years, and then they print the same thing for another 100 students, right? So we want them, the person who's referring the student to provide concrete instances of how they have seen the student grow over a period of time in a certain environment, meaning what challenges has the student overcome, what is their approach to the work, etc. Lisa, anything to add for that?
Perfect.
No,
Thank you so much. That would be great.
Yep. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Aditya. I'll move to the next student. I'm going to unmute Sakshi Sasalate. Sakshi, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Sakshi, please ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please ask your question, Sakshi.
Hello. Okay. Hi, good evening. So I'm Sakshi, I'm from India, and yeah. So I was planning on applying to MS in CS for fall 2022, and on the website I saw the deadline as 1 December. So is it a priority deadline or a regular deadline? Can you please let me know?
So thank you for your question, Sakshi. So that's a computer science question, right? We're discussing business programs today, but let's talk about deadlines in general, right? So December 1st, for example, for your program, that is the priority deadline. Now, you will see that the three colleges programs that we have mentioned today have varied, a variety of different deadlines, right? So if your program has a priority deadline, they would like you to submit all of your application materials and your online application well before that date, such that your application goes into the review stage by that date. When I say review stage, I mean that the application packet is now in the hands of the admissions committee within that department, right? So the fine print on that deadline, on the priority deadline, would read that if your application is in review by December 1st, it would be given a guaranteed review of the application, right? If your application goes into review after that date, then it would not necessarily be guaranteed a review of the application, right? With that being said, I know sometimes we work just in time here in India, right? Where I'm just like, well, what's the last possible date I can apply on, right? So, and I completely understand that. Well, I mean, I've been there as well. So think of it this way, whatever deadline you're targeting, work at least a month or 2 months earlier from that date in starting to make your application, because it does take time for test scores like the GMAT or the GRE or TOEFL, IELTS, etc., for those to reach us, because it takes us a minimum of 7 to 10 business days to match those types of score reports, official scores, to an application only after they've been received, right? So everything does not happen in an instant. So just please keep that in mind as you go through your application this season.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nikki ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Ayushi Dubey. Ayushi, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you for unmuting me. This is Ayushi from India. Hello all. I have started applying for fall 22. Ma'am, I wanted to ask how different an MBA is from MIS at ASU, because I always wanted to pursue MBA from ASU, but due to high tuition fee, I had to choose a MIS program, and I'm planning to start my application for the same. So, will I be able to achieve what I want to achieve in my life with MIS instead of MBA?
So I
Lisa?
can take this. Yep. Yeah, I'll take this one, Nikki. So what it will come down to, and this is a pretty common question, is identifying the employers that you're interested in working for, and seeing if an MBA and an MIS is considered equivalent for them. Nikki and I can confidently say that the Master of Information Systems Management program is giving you the management skills to be a leader, but you certainly are not diving into to the business courses like finance and accounting and economics like you would be doing with an MBA. The courses are very different. So information systems truly is focused in on specific industries or specific areas within the business world. So within the sciences, basically, computer science and engineering areas. One thing that some students choose to do if they're interested and feel like if they are still driven to earn an MBA, is they will do the 1-year MBA after they complete the Information Systems Management Master's program. The Fast Track MBA is basically, it's designed to be completed in 1 year because it is designed for students who already have a master's degree. So we see a lot of students come back and do an MBA because they have that same goal that you have, where their goal is to achieve the MBA, and have that on their resume. So it's a tricky question because I wish it was easy for me to say like, oh yes, this will give you the skills. I can tell you with confidence that the courses you're taking are taken by the same faculty within the business school, and they are also still high-ranked degree programs, so you're still getting that prestige, but the courses are different and the curriculum is different than an MBA program.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Ayushi. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Biswajit Panda. Biswajit, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi. Actually, I have a couple of questions. Actually, I hope you don't mind. So, my first question will be like, I am planning to do my master's in engineering management and information system management. Like, from ASU, my target is if I get information system management, that would be my first priority. So, what I want to know is like, what is the employability for this particular program? I mean, what is the previous record? Like, how many students that got into the particular program, and what was the percent of people that they got employed within 3 to 6 months? That's my question. I know it's pretty long. Sorry.
So Lisa, I'm toggling to the career services team here if you'd like to, discuss that further.
Yeah, sure. So, can you explain your question a bit more? So, are you looking for like how much
information system management? I am looking for information system management. I have 2 years of work experience, and yeah, and I was doing a co-op during my bachelor's degree. But like I am a software engineer by profession, but I'm inclined towards going into the leadership role. So I thought this information system management would be more suited to my profile because I'm a software engineer, definitely. That's why. And and my question is like, what is the employability for this program? If you can tell me, like, how many students that they got into this program are employed within 3 months or 6 months of their graduation, and That's the basic question. Do you get me?
Yep, I hear you, and I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, but I do know we would probably be able to, whether it's through the business school site or through career services, they would be able to give you some career information. If you're able to email WP Carey, the business school, it's in the chat there. Send them the email with that question, and they will know that answer right off the top of their head. They would be able to answer that question easily for you.
Can you just give me like which companies do hire graduates from information system management?
So
sure. Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
No, so what I was saying was, so we have career fairs twice a year, right? Now the career fairs take place at the Arizona State University level. Under ASU, we have 16 different colleges, right? Amongst those 16 different colleges, we have 350 different master's programs. Now, an employer is not necessarily going to come in and say, well, I only want students from this particular program, right? They will be looking for the most fit candidate for the myriad of roles that they have available. So in a sense, if you're looking to get concrete data on exactly which companies have hired your students from this program in the last 1 or 2 years, then I would say reach out to the Career Management Center. They will be able to give you that information, right? Because of the 350 different programs, there's no way for us for Lisa and I, right, to get a snapshot of exactly which companies have hired which students, right? That would be the role of the Career Management Center.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sorry if I
Thank
took a lot of time.
The email is in the chat.
Yeah, and I'll add really quick, just as we're transitioning to the next question. The nice thing about these degree programs that we've shared today between Global Management, the business schools, and Watts College is all of the staff who work with the college recruiters. They'll know the answers to something like that a question that's very specific to a degree program. They can definitely help answer a question like that. So be sure to reach out to them and ask that, because that is part of the role that they have and how they can help you. Great question.
Thank you so much, Viswajit, for your question. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Tanmay Dharam. Tanmay, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, hi, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. So actually, I had questions regarding, School of Engineering, but as you're not taking questions apart from business, so shall I message email you on that email ID so you could revert back for my questions?
Yes, absolutely. So what you can do is you can email us at gograd@asu.edu. And if you'd like, I can set up a time to speak with you during IST business hours, Monday through Friday. So I'm happy to discuss one-to-one the questions you have. Yes. So please do send us an email there, and I can set up some time for us to speak as well.
Sure, ma'am. I'll just do it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanmay. I have shared the email address. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Nikita Saraswat. Nikita, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, Nikita, please ask your question.
I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay, so hi, I'm Nikita and I'm from UP, India. So I have a question that is GRE mandatory for masters in every of stream?
Sorry, which stream? In every stream you're asking?
Yes. Like if I'm talking about, I'm graduating from chemistry and I wanted to pursue masters from medicinal chemistry.
So again, I'm so glad you're asking this question, right? Because just in terms of the different programs that both Lisa and I discussed, we have over a dozen programs amongst these three colleges, right? More than a dozen, of course. So every program has their own landing page, which shows you that the GRE requirements for the specific semester to which you're looking to apply to, right? So certain programs have that as a standing requirement. The GRE is non-negotiable. It is not on a case-by-case basis. It is required. And then there are other programs which may waive the GRE on a case-by-case basis, right? So I would encourage you, if you're interested in chemistry, to go to our website. You know what? I will put our program catalog here in just a second if I can stop sharing for just a moment here. And then what you can do is look up chemistry in that chat, right? In that little search box, and you can find whether your program requires a GRE for the upcoming application cycle. I assume you're looking for fall 2022?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to share a link here in the chat box. Okay, and then if you want to click on that, that is the programs that we have. So I've just sent that over to our organizers, and somebody will post it here in the chat in just a moment.
Done. I've shared the a link.
Perfect. Yes, so that is your link.
Thank you so much, Nikita. I'll take one or two questions from the chat before we end the session. So this is a common question from 2-3 students when they have asked for the English proficiency. Duolingo is accepted by ASU or not?
Yes, so we do accept the Duolingo test, the DET, and that is a new test that we have recently seen an increase in students submitting because of the ease of access, right? Especially when test centers last year were closed due to everything going on. So yes, we do accept the DET Duolingo test. Great question, thank you.
I'll take the next question. This is from Varshni, and she's asked that I was absent for 4 exams in my previous semester due to Corona, and I can't write these exams until January. But I would like to start applying for the university from December. Will this be a problem or have an impact on my admission application?
So I would like to ask for a little bit more context on that. I'm not sure what semester the student is in. Are they in a 3-year degree program, 4-year degree program? Do they have backlogs, other backlogs, so to speak? Because we do require at least 6 semesters worth of transcripts, undergraduate transcripts, for a student to be considered, or I should say evaluated by an admissions committee, right? So provided the student at least has that much, then they're welcome to, I would suggest, honestly, this might be a case-by-case situation for that student. If she can write to us at gograd@asu.edu, maybe we can provide a little bit more context.
Great. So I'll take the last question. This is again a common question, very frequently asked. So this has been asked by Tamanna, and the student has asked that what would be more preferable for student to do, whether it would be an MS program or an MBA?
The question of the century, right? Lisa, do you want to start us off, or should I take it?
Yeah, I think, you know, the main question is you'd want to flip it back and ask yourself, what skills are you hoping to uncover with a master's degree, and what area do you want to grow in? So an MBA is giving you the information you need to learn all of the administration related skills and to feel confident to be a manager and a leader. So you're not just taking courses in finance and economics and accounting and statistics, but you're also you're in the classroom where you are working with other students and faculty to build your confidence to make decisions and to even, I'll say, analyze data, and to be someone that your team or your department can count on, and also to be someone that those above you in leadership positions can count on too. So the MBA is giving you those business skills, where any of the specialized masters are giving you skills related to very specific areas in business. So whether it's real estate or information systems, the skills that you're learning there are related to that specific area. So it's a tricky question to answer because there isn't a yes or no answer to that question. It's really, truly giving you the opportunity to explore the curriculum in information systems management and the curriculum in the MBA to determine which classes interest you more and which classes would give you the skills that you desire to have in your future career.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for that answer. Yeah,
and
please
I would like to add the fact that regardless of the program that you do between Thunderbird, WP Carey, and Watts, the classes that you're taking, the reason these are such high-ranked programs and the reason we're featuring these programs today is because they are outstanding programs. These are not master's programs where you're getting a master's just to have a master's. You're getting one of the best master's best master's degrees that you can get in the US when you complete one of these degree programs.
Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of the session, and I would like to thank both our presenters, Lisa and Nikki, for taking out time today and doing this wonderful session and helping students with their queries. And before I end, I would request Nikki or Lisa to please share some, share some guidance that can help students when they're planning to apply to ASU, and any tips that can help them.
Sure. Thank you so much, Lakshmi and Abu, for hosting us today during this session. It was wonderful to interact with all the students, and I think I just want to leave a little bit of information, leave the students with a little bit of information. And I think the best advice I would give a student is to apply as early as possible, right? And I know that they've heard this before, but really try and follow that. Once you identify, like Lisa had said previously, really sit down for a weekend, right, and identify which programs you're interested in, and then identify what skills you'll be getting out of those programs and how those skills will work towards your career goal, right? So hopefully applying early and getting started earlier will result in a good admissions decision for all of you. But again, we are here to help, and this is why I am located in India to assist you on the IST time zone. So please feel free to reach out as well. Lisa?
Yeah, thank you. My recommendation is to also spend some time just thinking through what skills you desire to have in the future. So thinking about what your 5-year and your 10-year goals are, because that will help you identify which degree program is best for you. And then once you have started to identify, 1, 2, or 3 degree programs that interest you the most, research those specific degree programs and then get in touch with the colleges directly, because like we've mentioned earlier, we have colleagues in each college who are here to help, and they want to speak to you and they want to help you with the questions you have, which is why we host information systems and information sessions and webinars and then one-on-one appointments, because we do want to help you with your degree programs exploration and uncovering which program is best for you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And with this, we have come to the end of the session. And students, we know that there were still a lot of questions that we were not able to take because of the time constraint, but do not worry. Your questions will be shared with the university representatives and you will get answers on those questions. We will be sharing your questions with them. And thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and have a great day ahead, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care of yourself and stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you all.